Hey, I'm Adam Jusko from ProbMoney.com, and in this video we are going to review the Chase Slate Visa card. But before we do that, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe to this YouTube channel if you have not already, and if you have already, I thank you for doing so. So the Chase Slate Visa is a credit card that we don't talk about a whole lot on this channel because we tend to focus on reward cards, but at times of economic uncertainty, whether that is on a wider basis or whether that is just on your own personal economic uncertainty, this is a card that could be of interest to you. It really has one major selling point, or maybe you could say two major selling points depending on how you look at it, and that is the fact that you can get a 0% interest rate on any purchases you put onto the card for the first 15 months that you have the card. And you can transfer balances from other cards that may have a higher interest rate and put those on this card, and those also can sit there at a 0% interest rate for 15 months. And those balances that you transfer from a different card and you put onto this card can be transferred within the first 60 days of having this card onto this card without there being any balance transfer fee. And that is significant because most credit cards, if they have a balance transfer offer like this, they will let you transfer that balance and maybe give you a 0% offer, but they're usually going to charge you an upfront fee to move that money onto the new card. Usually 3%, sometimes up to 5%. In this case, if you get the Chase Slate and you transfer a balance, you will get that 0% interest rate for 15 months and you won't be charged any fee in order to do so. So if you have new purchases to make that you know you can't pay off in the short term, or obviously if you have debt sitting on another credit card, this card gives you the option to have it sit there while you pay off that debt and not have to pay any interest on those purchases or that debt that you already have accrued on another credit card. So obviously that is a great deal if you have some debt that you aren't going to be able to deal with right away. You're giving yourself 15 months to deal with it. That is over a year, so that is a good thing. Now obviously also there is the chance that you could get this card and dig yourself further into debt. So that is of course the danger here, that you're going to get this card, you're going to put a lot of debt onto it that you can't pay off within that time period. Now I guess you could make the argument that if you can't pay it off within that time period, well, you weren't going to be able to pay it off if it was sitting on another card at a higher interest rate either. So at least in this case you would get a break. But ideally you don't want to be putting money onto a card that you don't already have a plan to pay off. Now, if you have a time of economic uncertainty and you believe that the future is going to be better, I guess there is also the idea that maybe you want to take a chance on the fact that things are going to be better and that you will be able to pay off that debt in the future, and at least you can park it for a while at a 0% interest rate. Doesn't feel good to go into debt, but you'd rather do it at 0% than at 18% or at 24%. Now, the Chase Slate is probably not a very difficult card to get approved for if you are in the maybe, mid to high 600s or above in your credit score. You probably could get approved for this card. Really, the sticking point or the question is going to be, does it make sense to get this card if you don't get a credit line that is big enough to move the needle in terms of taking advantage of that 0% rate? Because you could get a credit line as small as $500 with this card. And if you're only going to get a $500 credit line, there's not a good reason to get this credit card. It doesn't have any rewards. It doesn't really have anything else to recommend it other than being able to take advantage of that 0% offer. So if you're someone that has a little more of a track record in your credit history and maybe you have some other cards that have some higher credit lines, well, then maybe you can get approved here and you can get a decent enough credit line where you could either transfer a balance or, make some new purchases and take advantage of that 0% offer. However, if you don't have much of a credit history, and especially if you have debt on another card, it is very possible that Chase would approve you, but then you would have such a small credit line that there would be no good reason to have this card. You wouldn't really save a whole lot on interest, and there wouldn't be any other redeeming qualities to the card to have it in the first place. Now, I feel like I made myself clear here, but just to reiterate, no reason to get the Chase Slate Visa beyond taking advantage of those 0% offers up front. There are no rewards on this card. The interest rate after those 15 months is not really all that great. At best, a 16.49% as I'm making this video. At worst, a 25.24% rate. And if you transfer a balance onto this card beyond that initial 60 days, when there is no balance transfer fee, beyond that initial 60 days, there would then be a 5% balance transfer fee, which is very high even by credit card industry standards. So that upfront offer is what you're looking at. If you can get it, if it makes sense for you and you can get enough credit line for it to make sense, then that is why you would go after this card. Now, if you are looking at the Chase Slate because of those 0% offers, two other credit cards you might also want to look at as alternatives. As I'm making this video, both of them also have 0% for 15 months and a 0% rate on the balance transfers with no balance transfer fee. The first of those, the Amex Everyday Card from American Express. This is a card, like I said, 0% for 15 months on purchase and balance transfers, no balance transfer fee. In those first 60 days, this card also has a modest rewards program, so you actually get something extra for this. So in that way, this the Amex Everyday Card looks better than the Chase Slate card. Second card I would talk about is the Bank of America card, 0% for 15 months on your purchases and balance transfers, no balance transfer fee in those first 60 days. Its interest rate after those first 15 months is a little bit better than the Chase Slate card as I am making this video. Now, Chase Slate is a Visa, the Amex Everyday is an American Express card, and the Bank of America card is a MasterCard. So if for some reason that matters to you in terms of wanting to have one versus the other, or having, one MasterCard, one Visa, one American Express in your wallet, then that may be something that you would take into consideration as well. Questions, put them in the comments section below and I will try to answer them. Otherwise, I thank you for watching, and as always, please go to proudmoney.com where we do credit card reviews, we talk personal finance, we talk deals, and all sorts of other fun stuff too. Thanks for watching. Bye.